My birds love the grit before the main feed anyway, so this is what I do. Every time I come in here, I give them the grits first before the main feed. And when I see that they're just about finishing it, so I get rid of the grits and then obviously replace it with the main feed. And that way they eat better. First job is to clean these nest bowls, soak them in the bucket with clean water and a little bit of bleach. I'll rinse them off. I'm allowing it to air dry a little bit before I place them into the breeding boxes. Just making sure that the individual breeding boxes are actually clean before we place the nest bowls in here. Sprayed a little bit with antibacterial, but not too clean to the point where the birds are not going to get used to any form of bacteria around them. So yeah, like I said, they've all paired now, and we're gonna give this floor a little bit of a clean as well. I've already started, as you can see. I have the bucket there almost full. Only 5 minutes after the introduction of the nest bowls into each individual breeding boxes, all the pairs are now actually in it. So it's a good sign, especially with these two. These two are one of our sitters, which is good. And this is how I planned it to be. I want our sitters to lay eggs first before the main breeders, for obvious reason that obviously they're going to be sitting other pairs eggs. And if you go around this corner here, so we've got the Simon Kennedy birds from the big truck. Here we go as well. They've paired and they're ready for laying eggs at some point, I suppose. So I'm looking forward for them to lay eggs next weekend. It's looking kind of neater and organized, and this is how I wanted my breeding section to be. Nice and neat, easy to manage, in and out, easy to clean. And all we need now here is the proper light during the night or evening, especially now it's winter time, it's kind of dark. So these two here up in the corner here, these are our sitters. And I think they're gonna lay eggs before the main breeders, which is good. And I only plan to breed approximately 30 birds, making allowances for losses. And as you can all imagine and know and understand, that we're gonna have bird losses one way or another. The loft is nice and dry. However, I decided to do a little bit of cleaning here while we are outside the house anyway. We only clean the loft every 2 to 3 weeks, providing it is dry. And as you can see, there's a bit of a wet mark there, and that's actually a roof leak, which is just right above it, which is not a big deal at the moment, but we will rectify that at some point. So now we allow the birds in the middle section to wander about. We're gonna let them go to the breeding section. They're not gonna disturb the breeders anyway, because they are inside their own boxes while we do the cleaning here. So yeah, while they're out, we're gonna give it a scrape. We're gonna leave a little bit of droppings inside the sloping perches. The birds decided to go in the aviary, which is better for us, so we can shut it from the inside and they can all remain here while we do the cleaning. But before we do that, let's have a quick look. Most of these birds are going to race. The old birds race in April, and then most of these birds as well had actually a race during the young bird season. So we're just gonna kind of have a quick look at the individual birds, and as you can see, some of them already have the what do you call it, the ETS rings, as we say, and there's only about probably 7 of these are late breds, which we would probably keep the half for stocks, because we no longer have the parents for them. So yeah, they're looking good at the moment, and they've finished the molting, and they're all flyers, so we could allow them to go out. However, we won't. I don't really want to take the risk of letting the birds out and catch this disease that's going around at the moment. I know that we can for about an hour, but I'd rather wait until it's safer to do so, because I don't want to waste these birds. These birds are quite good. I've looked after them very well, and as you can see, they're all looking healthy. And all I want is for these birds to give it a go actually in April. So we've got quite a few hopefuls here right away. So now the rest is down to us on how we condition them and train them. Done the cleaning, so I'm gonna let all the birds inside the loft again. So I've also prepared the food for them, and it's about right time for feeding. So there we go, all going crazy for it. In the meantime, all the cocks and the hens are actually here. Apart from the, obviously we've got those breeders now in the breeding boxes, ready for breeding. What I wanted to do here now is we've got some cocks here which we are going to use for the widowhood, hopefully. So I want them to pair with any hens that we have in this section. Going back to the main breeding section, as you can see now, the birds have nearly done with eating the grits. So I think they've had enough. So what I'll do is I'll put the main feed here in just a moment, just waiting for them to have a little bit more grits, and then before they can have the mains. So I've noticed anyway that this way they tend to benefit from the grits by eating them well enough. Instead of giving them the feeds and giving them the grits in a separate box, they tend to ignore it. This is my observation anyway with my birds inside this loft. So the whole purpose of it is to make sure that they do have the grits on a daily basis. So this is what I do. So I give them the grits first, and then the main feeds, and then they drink. It's all sorted. So everything goes in. Yeah, just a few more minutes. I'm just waiting for these guys. They haven't quite finished yet eating the grits and the minerals that I've given them. So until they've actually stopped, and then I'll give them the main feeds. It's quite good to see them actually eating the grits, because we all know what the benefits of the grits are for the birds and the minerals. So I'll make sure that they get them on a daily basis. We've also given grits to the birds in the other section. So what I tend to do is I'll just put the grits on the side, right in the corner of the feeding tray, and they're fine with this. They're not ignoring it. They're actually eating it. So that's not a problem at all whatsoever. Again, it's one of those things that I make sure they have in here. They also have multivitamins as well, which is mixed with the water approximately 3 to 4 days a week, which is helping them get into good shape. This is what I use throughout the breeding season. The very basic breed and wean, nothing fancy, but it does the job. Also, I use this measuring scoop, and at the moment this is my measurement. I'm not saying this is my measurement throughout the year. Obviously for every purpose it's different, but at the moment this is what I use. 1 scoop per couple, per pair, on a daily basis. It will obviously increase, as you know, when they start feeding the youngins eventually, but at the moment this is enough. Reason why I don't like to overfeed my birds, firstly because it's not healthy for them. They become obese. It causes a lot of health problems as well. The same with human beings. If you overeat, it's no good. Simple as that. So I tend to measure it and make sure that they finish it. And if there's any leftovers, what I tend to do, if it's not too much, then I tend to leave it there. But if it's too much left over, I'll take it away. Another reason is because I don't like my birds to be picky. At the end of the day, they're not eating what they need, and it's a lot of wastage going on. So I learned that the hard way last season, because I didn't really have enough time. So what I tend to do, I would fill this quite halfway up, thinking that okay, they'll have enough for the following day anyway. But what they tend to do, I've noticed, is they just pick, and all the grains that they don't like just end up on the floor, and that's it. It's a waste of money. So yeah, I started measuring it now, even for the breeders. And if they do want some more at the moment, so I tend to wait anyway and then come back after about half an hour. And if they need or want some more, fair play, I'll give them a little bit more. But if there's any leftovers, then I don't. So like these two here, they've kind of, well, the one at the bottom, they've kind of had enough anyway. And you could tell when they're just about to stop eating. So I tend to take it away. I mean, it's only telling me that they've had enough. I don't want to spoil them so much. And I don't want my birds to be obese as well. Because I don't like to breed out of obese birds, to be honest, 'cause they're not healthy, are they really? So this is what I do. At the moment, we have all these pairs looking good and eating very well. Both grits and the main feeds are drinking well. We're giving them multivitamins on a daily basis, and garlic in the water from time to time. That's it. Water in, not too much, because I just wait for them to have a drink and then I take it away, turn it upside down inside the aviary to drain them off, because like I said in my previous vlog, it gets very dirty here and I don't like them drinking dirty water, which is another reason why I don't leave it around. So it's quite manageable for us now anyway to change the water every day, because we're home every day, unlike last year.